It's Moreno Valley updates for July 7th to July 13th. This is Steve.
This is Danny.
And this is Tyler.
Our driver of the week, we're going to go with Marcus Parker. Marcus hit 1 year. Was that last week? Maybe 2 weeks ago. It is 1 year. Marcus has been doing part of the Salt Lake relay chain. And he is in Las Vegas. I think he lives in Las Vegas too. So good job, Marcus. Keep it up. Nice touch.
Set up there.
For new hires, there were two that started last. Oh, there was one. I forgot. We'll talk about that next week. I'm not going to talk about any new hires right now. We have Kevin who's going to read off the birthdays and anniversaries.
Good morning, guys. We're coming to you out from the Moreno Valley, D.C., Saturday, July 6th, to announce a few birthdays from the company. We got Steven Flores for Moreno Valley, July 7. We got Douglas Sontai, Moreno Valley, July 10th. We got Mark Robbie, Salt Lake, July 11th, and Leo Gonzalez from Las Vegas for July 13th.
I think it's Mark Roby. You haven't met him.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. Does relay.
I might have met him.
No, he just goes Salt Lake to. He doesn't leave Utah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then for anniversaries with the company, we got Milton Mendoza, 5 years as of July 8th.
And you know Milton, don't you?
Yeah.
I see him occasionally right here.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Kevin.
All right. Thanks for having
Now
me.
get to work.
All right.
Let's go to the weather for Los Angeles. It is going to be high 80s, partly cloudy all week. I'm sure in Moreno Valley, we're probably going to hit 100, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Las Vegas, 118, 117, 116. Very hot and sunny in Las Vegas all week. For Phoenix, also looking at 117, 116. Very hot and sunny all week. I was there on the 4th. I think it was 120.
Jeez.
It was very hot. Salt Lake City, also sunny and low 100s all week. So hydrate. All right, let's go to our injuries. We had a driver that basically slipped while exiting the trailer. Tyler, if you want to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, so that one, so from what I understand, the driver was just closing the roll-up door on the trailer. When was, holding on to the strap, not hold on to the trailer. Something I remind everybody about is be careful closing the roll-up door. Make sure you still have 3 points of contact. When we say 3 points, it means 3 on the trailer, 1 on the strap. Not just holding onto the strap and leaning your weight back. I know it's a habit a lot of guys have. Faster way of closing it, but then you run the risk of falling off the back and injuring yourself.
Danny, you were there with this driver when it happened, so pretty much 3 points contact, not used.
Yeah, correct. Just what Tyler just said right now. Also, another thing that actually probably also made the driver lose grip was the type of gloves he was wearing. He was wearing those leather gloves. And they fit you loose. Somehow they got tangled up. So he actually didn't have a good grip on the handle, and that's what made him lose the balance and fell on his back.
For other injury, we had a driver was hit by some falling freight, hit him in the chest.
So the product that hit him in the chest, I mean, that's when we preach nonstop. I mean, everybody's already aware of that. Unfortunately, sometimes heavy stuff does get stacked on top. That's why I always say it to death. Always tilt the product away from your face and always clear the product up high first. Unfortunately, with this one, I don't know all the circumstances behind it, with the driver still being out, but we've seen it happen a million times. All those products, you get one box that's hidden on top of the totes, or one heavy box that's stacked at the very top of the boxes. Always start high, work your way down. Always double check the top of the totes. and always tilt the totes away from you when you're trying to down stack them. So any heavy product on top isn't falling directly at you and hitting you in the chest.
Yeah. So what you do also, Danny?
Exactly what the Tyler said.
Yeah.
I tilt to the back.
So the driver, he said it was very painful. He thought that maybe he'd cracked a rib. Turned out it wasn't a cracked rib, so he should be back soon. Let's go to our accidents. The first one here, this turned out to be kind of really catastrophic. Where the driver is backing up, the driver hit the electrical box, as you can see here in the picture, and that caused a fire, put the power out to the store. So there was refrigerated pharmaceuticals that were lost. There was the refrigerated items. Now Walgreens doesn't have a huge food section that's refrigerated. But that stuff was lost. So Tyler, if you want to talk about this one.
Yeah, so this one was a few issues with this one. One, the driver had a bad setup from the get-go anyways. So just a reminder for everybody, if you don't know the stops, or even if you do, always look around first. Always find a good way to set up so you're not making a more difficult backup than you have to. But more importantly, it's the same thing we preach to death. Always get out and look, especially at stores like this with weird items surrounding the back door. This one had an electrical box around the back door, and unlike most electrical boxes, didn't have any bollards protecting it on the receiving door side. So, you got to be aware when stores have stuff like that next to their doors, because this one it's not like hitting a light above the receiving door. This one was a pretty catastrophic accident that gets a lot of people's heads turning, because it's very pricey when you knock the power out to an entire store. But more of the story, always just get out and look. I could have said that's the first thing everybody does the second they crash, is hop out of the driver's seat and go run to the back. If you took that 5 seconds before you actually hit the thing, you'd be doing a lot less paperwork.
Yeah, so fortunately then there was cascading kind of effects from this. So they had to bring in a generator. They put the generator right where the trailer, if you can see from the picture, they put the generator where the trailer would have to go, which forced the next driver that went there to come in from the other direction. And it is not ideal. There's some trees in the way. And if we look at the next accident, the tree branch hit the, what do you call that? The cooling unit?
The reefer, front of the reefer. That's the actual cover of front of the reefer.
Tyler, what do you want to say about avoiding this kind of?
Yeah, so more than anything, what I've been telling everybody is, that's something that CPC Safety has sent out a while back, is this is the season for low-hanging trees. This is the time of year they're all going to be at their max level grown out. So what I've been telling everybody is, if you have stops, I know we have stops like that, but if we have stops where trees are overhanging and there's no way to get in or out without it rubbing the trailer or possibly causing damage to the trailer, just take pictures first and always notify dispatch, notify me or Steven. At least give us the opportunity to make a decision before just sending it in there and damaging the equipment. If it's the only way in, that's something, Walgreens can either address with their store locations, or they can make the decision that, no, we just want it in there. But regardless, just damaging the equipment before reporting it is going to result in an accident.
Yeah.
Because once it causes damage to the trailers, it automatically goes down as an accident.
That's correct. Danny, you probably encountered a lot of tree branches in your time.
Oh, definitely. I just got to make it work. I personally now I deal with a couple of stores where I really got to watch out for the trees. But like Tyler said, take pictures.
For our other accident, we had a driver hit a car in a parking lot. Tyler, if you want to go over these circumstances.
Yeah, so this one, the driver was pulling out of his store. So he had just finished unloading. He had just pulled out a little ways, just starting to straighten out, and then he had come to a stop. So he came to a stop, looked down for a second, and was making sure his tablet updated. In that split second he looked down, a car had pulled into the parking lot right in front of him. and unfortunately pulled on the opposite side of the road and stopped right in his passenger side blind spot, right in front of the cab right there. And in that split second, he looked down, he cleared the tablet, looked back up, and at the same time he's looking up, let off the throttle because it looks clear in front of him, and ended up hitting the car that was sitting right in his blind spot. So, moral of the story on here is, this was another one we preach to death, is always check those blind spots. These trucks have a lot of blind spots, the Freightliners especially. The shorter you are, the lower you have to have that seat, and the bigger your blind spot's going to be in the front end. So always make sure you check all the blind spots before you get rolling anywhere, especially if you take a second where you're messing with the tablet and not looking at the road in front of you.
Yeah, cars, they're going to dart around behind you, in front of you, all sorts of places.
No, they do it at every stop, I swear. The people have unfortunately, people have no sympathy for big rigs.
This is correct. They just assume that the drivers are seeing everything and they're going to miss them somehow magically. All right, for Smart Drive.
Yeah, so Smart Drive, back to the basics this week. Our two biggest were probably following distance and speeding. So for following distance, same rule has always been, you got to make sure you leave, 6 to 8 seconds if you're doing freeway speeds. Anything less than 3 is going to flag you in the cameras. So if you find yourself in a situation like that, you got to let off the throttle. That's the main videos we keep and we don't dismiss, or when guys flat out aren't trying to reestablish that following distance. If you're letting off the throttle, if you're on the brake, if you're actively trying to regain the following distance, we understand traffic, so we give some leeway with it. But if there's no attempt there, you're still throttled up to 100 and following too close, those are the videos that stick because you're not attempting to reestablish. And then as far as speeding goes, we get all of our speedings at the same spots every week. So it's usually going down the 60. The guys that are just starting to head out to Vegas get them a lot. The Buckeye relays get them a lot. Bulk of it comes from relay drivers and team drivers. So just a reminder, I told everybody, when you're in California, Smart Drive is still going off the California speed limit. So you can't wind up until you cross the state line, then you can kick up to the 64. But as far as positives on Smart Drive, I also had two guys. Like I said, I want to try to make Smart Drive a little more positive. It's always nagging people about Smart Drive. Two people I wanted to give shout outs to this week on Smart Drive. First one's Demetrius Nelson there at Moreno Valley. He has a 0 score on Smart Drive, and I don't think I have ever seen a video come through on him, knock on wood when I say it, because I know he's superstitious. The other one's Edmund. Sorry, I can't pronounce Edmund's last name. I don't know if, Steven, you know how to pronounce his last name?
Oh, I tried it for the last week. Edmund said it was close. I'm not going to do it again.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Edmund. That last name's too hard to pronounce, but he's one of our team drivers here, and team drivers tend to have the highest scores because they're doing the most driving, and he worked hard on his score the last couple months, got his all the way down to 0. So great job, Edmund. Great job, Demetrius.
Oh, wow. Edmund was really up there. That's good.
He was. Yeah,
good for him.
He's been on a long streak of no videos.
All right, let's go to announcements. So we have this a lot where drivers will come in, get in the truck and click, nothing happens, so they think the battery's dead. Something to look at. Check to make sure that the truck is in neutral. Sometimes drivers stop and it's still in reverse or still in drive and they turned it off. So when you turn it back on, it won't start if it's in drive or reverse. So I think that we've had quite a few road calls for dead batteries, but the truck wasn't actually in neutral. I don't know if you've encountered this, Danny.
No. Actually, yes. One time, there's some of these Freightliners. I'm not sure about the brand new ones, but the older models. Sometimes they won't start, and they give you some kind of code. So what I learned from that is that you have to let it sit anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, and the computer will reset itself, and then you try it again, and for the most part, they start. Like you just mentioned right now, they have to be in neutral. If they're in drive or reverse, they won't start.
There's still a few holdouts on that heat-related illness training. We're in the heat now. So I think everybody's got the scheduled wages and working conditions. Did you get it in an email, Danny, or not?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, that was like a couple of months ago, I think.
Yeah. I could probably take that off now. What else we got? I had a couple other things, and I just totally forgot this morning when I came in. Tyler, you got anything else?
Last thing I'll add is I know we preach heat illness to death, but it's extremely hot out there right now. Just a reminder for everybody, we've had a huge spike in injuries across all of Walgreens, and the bulk of the injuries are coming from muscle strains. So they're linking it to drivers being dehydrated towards the end of the week. The bulk of the injuries are coming on the Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. So just a reminder, make sure you guys are staying extremely hydrated and focusing on staying hydrated later in the week so your muscles aren't getting dehydrated and you're not having those muscle strain injuries.
All right. Got anything to add, Danny?
No, just don't forget to put them water bottles in the freezer. They'll come in handy.
All right. Have a good week.